I used to make notes, but I don't really do that anymore, so I sit here and I turn on the camera and wait for stuff to come. I got stuff to show. I bought some stuff. I've been working on recording gameplay footage, and I've been buying stuff. I'll tell you about that. And I did a couple of, I did one trade and with Infected Flinch, Dave, and Evohaler sent me something. I'll start with that. I've been working on getting a hard disk in the PlayStation 2, and I've been using this, which is a, this is from Deal Extreme, and it's a network adapter for the PS2, but it's a serial one for modern drives. And this works, but I haven't been able to format a large disk in the way that the PS2 needs it to be formatted. So I've been having some trouble with that, and that project has been, you know, in the cooler for a while. So in the meantime, I thought that I might try one of the original network adapters, which is for parallel drives, you know, the older style drives. Those drives are easy to come by secondhand. It's also a bit finicky because not all the discs work, but you know, nothing's working the way I want. So I found a PS2 on eBay with a network adapter. Now I was looking for network adapters, but the old ones are over here, they're very hard to come by. You know, and if you can find them, they're very expensive, or they are very cheap, but there's a lot of shipping costs involved. So, and all of the standard old-style network adapters that I could find were in the UK. But none of the sellers wanted to ship outside of the UK. So, since I don't live in the UK, and I asked my good friend Evohaler if he wanted to be my mail bitch, and he was, you know, friendly enough and nice enough to do that. He said, you know, what do you want from me? Well, I used his address to ship the PS2, and he shipped the rest over to me, and it came in today. So, and this is it. This is the old style. The old style network adapter, and as you can probably not see, but I can, this is a parallel interface, an IDE interface. And the nice thing is that this sucker actually comes with a network adapter, because this one, which is basically an aftermarket product, someone just took this housing and put a serial adapter in it, but in order to keep it cheap and low cost, where the little sticker goes is where, in this case, the network adapter, there's nothing there. This is empty. There's no network interface in here. So, but now I have this, and I'm going to try this. And, you know, when you send people stuff, it's pretty customary to include a note. And I got a note. The fucking bummer sent me a note, but it was empty. You know, I guess you use that as wrapping for he sent me a note, and it looks like this. Here's your fucking network adapter, Evo. That's what it says. It's clear enough. Thanks, man. I'm keeping this. You know, I'm gonna make a little holder for every note that I get, and this is gonna be the first one. It's great, thanks. Anyway, it's great that you wanted to be my in-between guy for the UK mail. I have to be careful though, because I had to put your address in my eBay account. So if you by any chance receive stuff that you haven't ordered off eBay, then it's probably mine, because I forgot to change the address. So, thanks again, Evo. You're a great guy. I love you. The other thing that I was working on was gameplay recording. Now, I could just turn the camera around and point it at the screen like many people do, and it is absolutely no problem. But I found my old hard disk recorder, and I thought, hey, can I try this? And this is where my brain does its regular thing again. You know, I get one idea, and one idea leads to another, and then I got some input from Mark. Oh, you could do this, and then all of a sudden I'm buying stuff. My problem was that my hard disk recorder has only one input for sound, and I was recording game sound, but I couldn't record my own voice. Not that I want to hear it so much, but someone commented on it, said, hey, we can't hear your commentary. Well, I don't always have any, but in this case I thought, well, how am I going to put my voice and the game sound into the hard disk recorder at the same time? Now, Mark said you got to get a mixing panel, which I did. I got a little cheap mixing panel. It was 15 bucks off. You know, this is my luck or my talent or my whatever it is. But whenever I look for something, I usually do one search and I find what I'm looking for cheap. So this was 15 bucks. It's a little 4-channel mixing panel, and I can put the left and right audio signals for the game sound in these, and then I have one other and maybe even 2 inputs for a mic. Now, I thought I could put any mic in this, but I had to learn stuff about microphones and impedance levels. Is that the right word? It's not impedance levels. Anyway, and I learned really quickly because I bought a microphone that didn't work on this. It just gave no sound. It's pretty heavy, by the way. And then I experimented with some microphones, and finally I found this at the cash converter. This is a Shure SM58 XLR microphone. It has a 6.5mm plug that goes into that, but it is XLR, which means that it has a funny thing. But the output level is the output level of this microphone expects there to be a preamp, which obviously this has, and it doesn't say it on the box or anything, but obviously it does because this works on it. Now, I got my mixing panel, I got my microphone. Can you see me? Can you see the trouble? I can't use this. Oh, I had a different phone, a different mic, one that it came off a karaoke set. But these mics all have different characteristics. This is a cardio something. Well, anyway, it picks up sound in a heart-shaped shape around the thing. I don't know the words. So I don't have to put it against my mouth like this, like I'm Mick Jagger. I can just talk into it like that. But I had to, you know, try different microphones before I got the right one. So this is a Shure SM58, like I said, and this is used as a stage mic. So if I want to change my career from being a chef and a computer programmer to being a stand-up comedian, I've got the tools. But there's the problem. I have to hold it in my hand. And unless I'm playing Wii games that don't require the nunchuck, I'm basically fucked. So I had to get a stand, which I did. The setup is getting crazier and crazier. I got a really heavy feeling and looking, made in Germany, microphone stand. I can't, it's too big to show. But can you see me sitting there with my stand? and the mic goes in here. I mean, I feel like I'm, you know, in a rock band. See that? This is what I have to record my sound. Is that crazy or what? I love it. You know, this is what my mind does to me. You know, I go from one thing to another, and before you know it, I have an entire studio. I love it. So I'll be doing some gameplay videos, I hope, because now I have all this stuff, and it works. You know, I've tested it and it works. It's a little uncomfortable, but you know, I don't really know what to say during gameplay. So PS2 sound stuff. I've been I was playing Crazy Taxi on my GameCube. I have a GameCube, and then I thought, you know, why don't I try one of the games that I've had for a long time, never played, and that's a Gun. Now I have Gun on the PS2 as well, or at least I think I do. I have to check my database for that. I know I have this double. Anyway, I was playing Gun, but you know, the visual quality and the gameplay of this game on the GameCube really surprised me, and I've had that GameCube for a long time. And I can see why people are collecting for the GameCube. And collecting for the GameCube right now is a pretty good idea. You know, that there are a couple of titles that are hard to find and that are expensive, but many of them aren't. So I bought a couple. I went on eBay and the local sites and stuff, and I bought some. I bought some games, and good old Chad Bailey was nice enough to give me a list of the GameCube games that he thought were good on the GameCube. So I've been buying a couple of titles. Do you want me to show them? Yes? No? Yeah. Gun, A Warrior World, Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3, Star Fox Adventures. Of course, I'm also looking for Star Fox, I don't know the title, the other Star Fox game, SSX. I'll get to that later. So, GameCube games. I'm a little while ago, I'd run into some money and I didn't know what to spend it on, so I basically thought that my collecting was sort of done for like 2 days, and then I thought, hey, how about the GameCube? So I'm collecting GameCube games, which is funny because some of you may know, others may not. I found the bongos in a thrift store for $3.50. They were really cheap. Now every store that I went to, they all have Jungle Beat and Donkey Konga games, and they all have them with the bongos. And I couldn't find one store that was willing to sell me the game without the bongos. One guy in the store said, "Well, hey, if you don't take the bongos, I'm just going to throw them away." So I said, "Well, you know, keep the bongos in the game." And I found a Jungle Beat in the store when I was out with Mark for $20, and I went up to the guy and I asked him, that is of course with the bongos. No, he said, with the bongos it's 40. You know, $40 for a GameCube game. There are games in there for $70 for a GameCube game. It's stupid. So as I was talking about that in one of my videos, good old Dave, Infected Flinch, was a really nice guy, by the way. I mean, we haven't been in touch for very much, but he had a video up and he said, you know, I have some games that I want to trade or sell. So I messaged him, hey, you know, I'm interested in your Jungle Beat, or was it Donkey Kong? I can't remember. So we set up a trade. I sent him something and he sent me something. And that came in today as well. So here it is. I haven't taken the address off, so I have to show it like this. But I'm gonna open it. See, it's totally unopened yet. There might be a turd in here. I don't know. Oh, hey, you know what this means? I can reuse your your envelope. See? Wait. Before, yeah, I can reuse your envelope. There is a note there. I'm just gonna compare. I'm gonna do a size comparison. It's not that much bigger. And it's the content, you know. It's hey man, my handwriting is terrible. Well, not so terrible. But finally closed Donkey Konga, not Jungle Beat. Along with a Brucey bonus. Enjoy. Dave, also known as Infected Flinch. Thanks, Dave. Donkey Konga, and it's a nice black label too. Very nice. Ooh. I thought I heard something shaking. Thank you. It's all complete, and there's a disc in there. What is this? Sonic Heroes for PlayStation 2. Thanks, dude. Very nice. It's I'm not a big I'm not big on Sonic. I've never played or had a Sega, which is where these basically come from. But thanks. I know that these are good games and they're fast, and I like that. You know, fast fucking platformer. And Donkey Konga. Thanks a lot, Dave. You're a nice guy. You all know him, so check out his channel. If you don't, so that was a trade. Watch for his video because I sent him something as well, also with a nice bonus. So I wonder what you think about that, Dave. Thanks again. Nice trade, nice trading. There was, oh yeah, I've been playing SSX on the PS3. And SSX is a snowboarding game, which I now have for the GameCube as well. And I used to play SSX Tricky on the PlayStation 2 a lot, because I had a lot of time on my hands back then. And the funny thing is that in my mind, I remember that game to be like the PS3 version that I see now. I mean, the visual quality is amazing. The game is much harder though. But in my mind, the PS2 version looked really good. And if I put the PS2 version in now, it basically looks like crap. So, but the PS3 version looks like what I have in my mind. It's just much harder. In the PS2 version, I can remember that you basically couldn't do anything wrong. You know, you could fly all over the place, and you would always land in a safe spot and maybe bounce around a little bit. But in the PS3 version, you know, I die all the time because I think I make a cool jump somewhere, and then it says some uber fantastic term for the jump I'm making, which takes 5 minutes, and then I disappear into the fog and I'm dead. So that's a bit tricky, SSX tricky, but I'm enjoying it. It's a nice game. It's still a nice game. The SSX series by it's a sports game. It's been the only sports game that I've ever played. I think, well, except maybe from basketball one-on-one on the Commodore 64. You know that jump cut thing that Grubgun's always griping about? Well, my fucking camera does the same fucking thing. But mine doesn't do a jump cut, mine just quits. It just stops. So I was recording this and then I went back to the house for editing this, and then I found out that the last couple of seconds weren't on my SD card. So anyway, playing SSX, I'm not sure what I said after that. I'll put my PSN name in here, so if you want to do some online gaming with me on the PS3, then feel free to invite me, and I'll accept your request. So that's it, and I had some really cool sentence, and I can't remember, and it ended in, there can be only one. Bye guys.